Retirement, that word is supposed to feel like freedom. A life of leisure, travel, maybe a small garden, or watching the grandkids play. But what if I told you that your dream retirement could quietly become your biggest financial mistake? That the place you choose to settle down might be the very thing that empties your life savings faster than you can say fixed income? Some US states may look like paradise, but behind the views, charm, and sunshine lurks a brutal truth. They're quietly bleeding retirees dry. Today, we're counting down the 10 US states that will rob retirees blind. And we're not just talking taxes. We're talking hidden costs, inflated prices, and policies that punish the people who've earned the right to rest. So before you pack your bags or sign that lease, watch this. Because one wrong move can cost you everything you worked for. Alaska, the final frontier. It's wild, it's beautiful, it's brutally expensive. At first glance, it seems like a retiree's dream. No state income tax, no crowds, just fresh air and quiet. But the truth? Alaska doesn't save you money. It just hides how it takes it. Think about this. The median home here costs around $360,000. Not outrageous, right? Until your first winter hits, and your heating bill slaps you with reality. Utilities in Alaska are 52% higher than the national average. Groceries? Try 31% more for everyday items. Milk, eggs, even bread, they're flown in, because you can't exactly grow crops in permafrost. Living here is like playing survival mode. All year long, now add in car costs. You'll need snow tires, constant maintenance, and nerves of steel just to drive in the winter. And in cities like Anchorage, finding parking is like winning the lottery. If the prize was a frozen parking spot, that still costs you $300 a month. Want to retire in Alaska? You'll need at least $85,000 a year, and a tolerance for isolation, dark winters, and DIY everything. Sure, the views are stunning, but so is the price of bananas. Vermont, it's picture perfect. Rolling hills, red barns, and maple syrup so rich it feels like gold. But retiring here, that sweetness comes with a bitter bill. Let's start with housing. A charming home here averages $420,000. But don't let the word charming fool you. That usually means old, drafty, and expensive to heat. Vermont winters aren't cute, they're relentless. You'll spend thousands just keeping your toes from freezing off. And renting? Even a modest one-bedroom can run you $1,800 a month. Now toss in property taxes. At 1.86%, they'll take about $7,800 a year from your pocket. But the real gut punch? They tax your retirement income. Yes, your pension, your IRA, even your decades-old Social Security. Vermont wants a piece. And then there's the little things. Snow tires, expensive local food. And let's not forget the occasional bear crossing. To live comfortably here, you'll need around $90,000 a year, plus some extra for wool sweaters and firewood. Vermont might look like a postcard, but for retirees, it often feels more like a receipt. Illinois tries to fool you. It whispers sweet nothings about affordability. Look, it says, our homes are cheap. And yes, the median home price is around $289,000. But here's the catch. Illinois has one of the highest property tax rates in the country, 2.27%. That's over $6,500 a year just to own your home. And don't think renting saves you either. In Chicago, a one-bedroom can cost you $2,200 a month. And that's in a building that may still have Prohibition-era plumbing. The surprises don't stop there. Illinois taxes your retirement income. 401k? Taxed. Pension? Taxed. IRA? Yep, they want that too. It's like they see your savings and say, thanks, we'll take half. Car insurance averages $1,400 a year, but the real kicker? Chicago's traffic fines? One wrong turn or expired meter, and it feels like you're funding the next pothole repair yourself. And there are a lot of potholes. To retire comfortably here, plan for at least $95,000 a year. Illinois has some charm, but it also has a habit of reaching into your wallet and not saying thank you. Maryland, home of crab cakes, Chesapeake charm, and sticker shock. From a distance, it looks ideal. Close to DC, rich in history, full of coastal towns with boat docks and coffee shops. But behind that postcard image, Maryland is quietly draining retiree bank accounts. Let's talk real estate. The median home price is about $447,000. And if you're looking anywhere near Washington, D.C., forget it. Add a zero or a second mortgage. Renting's no picnic either. Even a one-bedroom goes for $1,600 a month, and that's if you're not trading your firstborn for a security deposit. Now enter the taxman. Maryland taxes retirement income up to 5.75%. Yes, even after 40 years of work, the state still wants a cut. Utilities and groceries, higher than in neighboring states. You'll walk out of the store with 3 bags and wonder, did I just buy groceries or invest in gold? And then there's traffic. The DC metro area isn't a commute, it's a lifestyle. One filled with stress, gridlock, and $1,900-a-year car insurance. Oh, and if your car gets towed in Annapolis, prepare to trade in your grocery budget to get it back. To retire comfortably in Maryland, aim for $97,000 a year. That is, if you don't mind spending your golden years in traffic, holding a grocery receipt that feels more like a ransom note. The charm is real, but so is the financial punch. Connecticut, land of ivy-covered buildings, old money, and some of the highest costs east of Manhattan. On paper, it sounds promising. Coastal towns, good hospitals, peaceful suburbs. But for retirees, it's less Fairfield County fairy tale and more financial quicksand. Let's start with housing. The median home price hovers around $436,000, about 23% higher than the national average. But for that price, you're not getting a beach house with a butler. You're lucky if the chimney doesn't leak and the furnace dates after the Cold War. Then there's property tax, 2.14% on average. That's roughly $9,300 a year, just for owning your own roof. Want to rent instead? A one-bedroom apartment will cost you around $1,600 a month, which sounds fine until you realize you're in a state where even parking feels premium. Let's talk taxes. Connecticut taxes most retirement income, including Social Security for higher earners. Yes, even your government safety net has a fee attached here. Utilities? Among the most expensive in the country. And when winter rolls in, so does a heating bill that could make you choose between groceries and gas. Public transport? Sparse. So unless you've got a good bike and nerves of steel, driving and all its costs is a must. To live comfortably in Connecticut, budget at least $105,000 a year. That's assuming you're not doing anything wild like eating out or taking a weekend trip. Connecticut may look polished, but underneath it's a slow drip on your savings, one cold bill at a time. Ah, New Jersey, the Garden State, home of Bruce Springsteen, boardwalks, diners, and the highest property taxes in America. If you're planning to retire here, you'd better bring a suitcase full of cash. Because the cost of living, it's no joke. Let's talk housing. The median home price is over $550,000. And for that, you're probably buying a house that'll need a new roof the moment the first nor'easter rolls in. Want to rent instead? A one-bedroom apartment could cost you $2,200 a month, and your view? Probably not the Manhattan skyline, more like the back of a Wawa parking lot. Now brace yourself for the property tax rate, 2.21%. That's $12,000 a year in property taxes alone. That's not a tax, it's a hostage situation. And yes, New Jersey taxes your retirement income too. Withdraw from your 401k, they take a slice. Pension, another bite. It never ends. Car insurance, around $1,900 a year, because apparently navigating the turnpike is now a luxury service. And speaking of driving, tolls. Toll to go somewhere, toll to come back. By the end of the week, you've paid enough just commuting to fund a small grocery run. Utilities and food? Don't expect deals. Even pork roll sandwiches come at a premium. To retire here without financial stress, you'll need about $115,000 a year. New Jersey may have heart, but for retirees, it's a constant wallet punch. Unless you're born to run, you might be better off running away. Oregon, mountains, forests, craft beer, a place where people kayak before breakfast and grow their own kale. Sounds peaceful, right? Sure, until you try to retire here. Then it becomes clear Oregon is less of a retirement haven and more of a quirky money pit. Let's start with housing. The median home price across the state is over $523,000. And in Portland, you're either paying $500,000 for something that needs a bulldozer or for a glass and concrete cube with no walls and no insulation. Prefer to rent? A one-bedroom apartment will still run you around $1,700 a month. That's fine, if you're okay with hearing street drummers and food truck generators all night. Now here's the catch. Oregon has no sales tax, which sounds great until you realize everything else costs more. Groceries, high, gas, higher, utilities. Hold on to your flannel shirt, and don't forget Portland's brutal parking fines. One wrong stop sign or misread meter and boom, there goes your monthly coffee budget. Driving isn't much better. Roads here are often flooded, full of potholes, or backed up with tourists looking for the next microbrewery. Car insurance averages $1,200 a year, but the repairs, those are extra. To retire in Oregon comfortably, plan for about $110,000 a year. That's if you're not trying to keep up with the locals in Patagonia jackets and $50 kombuchas. Oregon is beautiful, no doubt, but if your bank account can't climb mountains, you'll be stuck at base camp wondering where all your savings went. Massachusetts, wicked smart, wicked proud, wicked expensive. It's the birthplace of revolution, and for retirees, the birthplace of budget stress. Let's start with the basics. The cost of living here is among the highest in the country. Even if you move outside Boston, prices still bite. The median home price? Easily north of $500,000. And if you think you're saving money by heading out to Worcester? Sure, if you enjoy spending half your life on the Mass Pike in traffic. Massachusetts also taxes most retirement income at 5%. So even if you spent 40 years paying into the system, they'll gladly take another chunk once you start drawing it back out. And property taxes? Not outrageous, until you add them to your already sky-high bills. Let's talk car insurance, around $1,800 a year. That's if you're lucky enough not to get clipped by a Boston driver in a rotary. Utilities? Winter here isn't a joke. You'll either freeze in your historic colonial home or pay hundreds a month to keep it above penguin habitat. To retire comfortably in Massachusetts, you'll need about $130,000 a year. That's assuming you're not splurging on Red Sox tickets or Sunday brunch in Cambridge. Massachusetts may give you history, hospitals, and Harvard, but if your wallet isn't Ivy League material, it's gonna flunk fast. California, the land of palm trees, golden beaches, and dreams so big they need their own zip code. But here's the secret no one tells you. In the Golden State, it's your retirement that pays the price. Let's start with rent. A one-bedroom in San Francisco? Try $3,500 a month. And no, that doesn't come with a view of the Golden Gate. That's for the privilege of stepping over 5 tech bros and 3 scooters just to get your morning coffee. Thinking of buying? Bring millions. The median home price statewide hovers around $700,000, but in coastal cities, it's 7 figures just to get in the door. And then there are the taxes. California has the highest state income tax in the country, topping out at 13.3%. And yes, they tax retirement income, your 401k, pension, IRA. They all get a slice taken out. Utilities? Sky high. Running your AC in the summer feels like you're powering Disneyland. And in the winter, don't even think about heating unless you've budgeted for it like a vacation. Then there's gas, among the most expensive in the US. Plus car insurance averaging around $1,900 a year, just to navigate traffic that moves slower than your old dial-up internet. To retire comfortably in California, you'll need at least $148,000 a year. And even then, you'll be living like a minimalist with a Costco card. Yes, the weather's perfect. Yes, the coastline is magic. But unless you're already rich, California might just sunshine you into bankruptcy. Hawaii, just the name feels like a breeze, swaying palms, ocean waves, aloha spirit. It's retirement paradise, right? Well, only if you can afford to live in a postcard, because behind the beauty, Hawaii is, hands down, the most expensive state to retire in. Let's start with housing. The median home price in Honolulu is pushing $1 million, not for a mansion, mind you. We're talking modest homes, sometimes no bigger than a 2-car garage on the mainland. Renting? A 1-bedroom apartment costs around $2,200 a month. And that's without oceanfront. You're basically paying resort rates, but still doing your own laundry. Groceries? Almost everything is shipped in, so the price of bread, milk, eggs, add 30-40% on top of what you're used to. Utilities? Brutal. Want to run the AC in summer? You better sell a kidney or prepare for an electric bill that feels like a second mortgage. And taxes? Hawaii taxes your pension, 401k, and IRA like they've got a right to it. Even your social security isn't always safe if you hit a certain income level. Healthcare is decent, but limited outside major islands. And travel? Visiting family on the mainland? That's a whole separate budget. To retire in Hawaii comfortably, expect to need at least $150,000 a year. Yes, the sunsets are divine. Yes, the air smells like plumeria. But in Hawaii, even paradise has a price. And for most retirees, it's just out of reach. So there you have it, 10 states that look beautiful on the outside, but quietly punish retirees on the inside. And the lesson? Retirement isn't just about where you want to live, it's about where your money can breathe. Because it's not just taxes, it's property costs, it's heating and groceries and traffic fines and health insurance and rent. It's the little things that slowly chip away at your savings. Until one day, you realize that dream home was a financial trap. So before you move for the ocean, the mountains, or the charm, do the math. Call a local advisor. Check how retirement income is taxed. Ask what $1,000 buys you in rent, in groceries, in security. Because the wrong zip code can turn your golden years into a stress spiral. But here's the good news. There are states that respect what you've earned. Places where your money lasts longer. Where property taxes are low, Social Security is tax-free, and a retirement budget actually means something. And if you're wondering where those states are, you're in luck. Because in our next video, we'll show you 10 US states that protect retirees and their savings, so you can stop surviving and finally start enjoying the life you've worked for.